Okay, the next subject is what Rumpelstiltskin calls institutional memories. Now I'm shining this light in my eye. Now if I turn away, everyone knows you get an after image. So, if I turn out this light and I still see a light in my eye, what's going on? The light's not shining in my eye anymore. Not shining in my eye anymore. I'm still seeing the after effects of that light shining in my eye. This is what we would call an institutional memory, is because it's still showing up in our senses, even though that light was not shining in my eye anymore. And the way that we use this idea of institutional memories, it has to do with the past and how we deal with the past. As humans, we learn from our mistakes. And it helps us, it's very practical. But it also adds an element of, oh, this ain't gonna work because I did it before and it didn't work. And it's very intransigent. It means it is very, very strong in you to say, I know you saying doing this and doing that, but I've done this and done that in the past and it didn't work out. So I'm not going to do it again. It's very practical. The biggest issue with institutional memories is we are stuck with stuff that is no longer serving us. Some people might say it's common sense. You learned your common sense from the school of hard knocks. But it's a drawback too, because it stops you from looking at the world new right now. That was then, this is now. And it creates a great block to our progress, because some of these things were maybe inspirations that we were getting, and we tried them, and we go, later on we come back and we say, that didn't work out. I thought that was an inspiration. It didn't work out, so I'm not going to do that again. But sometimes we have to loop back and do those things again that didn't work out. And if we don't go back and try it again, things are different in the next now moment. Things change. The Buddha said one thing you can always count on is that we live in a world of constant change. And the circumstances of the past, when it didn't work out, are not necessarily going to be the same circumstances now. And it's what ifs, the hypotheticals. What if it doesn't work again? I'm going to get burned by this again. It goes back to the Fool in the tarot deck. The Fool is someone who is been through the whole tarot deck and gone through the whole journey, and then they start back where they began. And where do they go? Well, they have to go back on the Fool's journey. And the Fool they're going to do it anyway. It's going to, the tarot deck is basically the story of life. These are all the same cards that you're going to keep getting. And some people would say, well, learn from your past trip. Yes, but also remember, it's not about the past. It's not even about learning from the past. It's about, this is a new now. And we have so many things that we've dragged along from the past. You think of the way that everything that we have, it comes from the past. And you say, well, this has been good. It's been very good. But it's also stopping us from changing things to make it better. How do we deal with this? It's not going to be a happy thing to say, to hell with the past, to hell with the lessons of the past, the licenses of the past, because that's what everything was in the past. It was a license to do things. You had to have permission slips. If we're going to build a new future where you, as your divine personality, you can't have things that you were doing when you didn't know you were a divine personality. And the whole society also has got to become the divine society. And when is that going to be? You got to put it to the test. It's a delicate balancing act because you have to watch. And at what point do you say this isn't working again? And letting go of this idea that it's never gonna work. It's never gonna work. This is the natural thing because we've had these things for so long. But in order to progress ourselves as individuals, as a whole planet, we have to be willing to throw away everything from the past. And the regular things come up. You're asking for huge change in a short period of time, and we can't do it. We can't do it. We're not going to do it. These institutional memories that day to day help us also hinder us. Where is the wisdom? The wisdom is in having another go at it. It's basically saying, it's a new ball game today. We did it this way last game, and maybe we lost. But we're got a new ball game, and this is our game plan. It looks like the same game plan as last time. And, we lost. But it's still a good game plan. It's still good because it is the best we can come up with. Is there a new inspiration for it? Maybe there's some changes, but maybe it comes out to be the same game plan. This is the difficulty because it might not work again. I can't tell you where you're going to find this example in your own life because everyone's got their own thing going on and they've got their own institutional memories. So where do we go with this? We have to be willing to keep try again. And if it looks like it's the same thing and we're going, oh God, it's the same thing, well, yes it is. Maybe it's another loss. And maybe you go a whole baseball season and you haven't won a game. But you got out there on the field each and every game and it was a new game and you played the game. Your game plan quite likely is the same game plan that the other team that won used. I mean, when you look at baseball, somebody always ends up winning the World Series. And, the best minds in baseball they're the coaches of these teams. And they are all basically using the same playbook. Year after year, it's the same playbook. What do you do in this situation? Do you tell your batter to hit or to bunt? You have to figure it out. There is nothing, and that is what you've learned. This is the best playbook, but you're still using the same playbook that you lost with last year. But the circumstances change. Your players change. The opposing players change. The wind is different this time. all of these things, and yet it's the same playbook. So is the playbook the institutional memory? Perhaps. But it's mostly the loss that's the institutional memory, and that creates a fear of another loss. Letting go is basically saying, I'm doing the best I can, and I'm letting go of the results. I'm just going to play the best I can, and what happens with me playing the best I can is what happens. There's always more and more you can add to this, but that's the heart of it. You have to have less and less constant repetition of this doesn't work. I gotta go.